Topping today's news, the Prime Minister inviting U.S. companies to invest in the Bahamas. The Prime Minister also says heavy reliance on the U.S. economy can leave the Bahamian economy vulnerable. The official opposition not sold on the government's balanced budget and surplus projections, and another shooting on beautiful Harper Island, the second this week. This is your JCN Evening News. I'm Dorino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. The government of the Bahamas is hosting the second annual Business and Investment Forum in New York City over the next 2 days as the Davis administration tries to lock down foreign investment projects across the archipelago. The forum is being hosted by the Bahamas Embassy in Washington, D.C., organized by the Bahamas Ambassador to the United States, Wendell Jones. This morning, Prime Minister Philip Davis delivered the keynote address and reassured the potential investors in attendance that the Bahamas is the place to be.
I come to you with a simple but confident message. The Bahamas offers certainty. Certainty in our governance, certainty in our legal framework, certainty in our business environment, and certainty in our direction as a nation committed to stability, integrity, and sustainable growth. Investors around the world are rethinking their strategies. The search is on for jurisdictions that are safe, transparent, predictable, and welcoming. Places where capital is protected, where the rule of law is not an aspiration, but a guarantee. Where leaders are accessible, and the path from proposal to progress is not mired in red tape. The Bahamas meets that moment.
The Prime Minister also outlined the unique investment advantages that makes the Bahamas an attractive destination, including its stable government, favorable tax policies, robust digital currency regulations, and strategic proximity to key markets, particularly the United States. He assured full cooperation by the Bahamas government and its agencies.
We don't ask investors to come in, write a check, and figure it out on their own. That's not our model. Our approach is to work with you through every phase of the investment journey, from inquiry to implementation, from licensing to operations to expansion. This administration is available, responsive, and focused on results. Our investment promotion and facilitation unit at the Office of the Prime Minister is designed to be your single point of contact, cutting through bureaucracy, coordinating across agencies, and ensuring that your project isn't delayed by red tape or unnecessary silos. Because we understand, in a global market, investors have choices, and we want you to choose the Bahamas because we are not just open, we are organized, engaged, and ready to support whatever your vision may be. Whether it's infrastructure, hospitality, logistics, energy, or financial services, our job is to help you unlock the potential of your investment and align it with national development priorities.
The forum is being held under the theme Embracing Opportunities in Paradise. Minister Glenys Hanna Martin is serving as acting Prime Minister until Prime Minister Davis returns on Friday. With all the talk about trade, investments, and tariff wars in recent months, it has forced nations like the Bahamas to grow and develop at a faster pace. During his budget communication, Prime Minister Philip Davis acknowledged the long-standing mutually beneficial relationship between the Bahamas and the United States as our biggest trading partner, where 84% of our stopover visitors originate from. He pointed out the vulnerabilities that come with this fact and what the government is doing about it.
While this close relationship has yielded considerable benefits, it also underscores our exposure to developments in the U.S. economy. Any slowdown or heightened economic uncertainty in that market can have a direct impact on Bahamian trade and tourism. This sensitivity is particularly relevant considering recent policy announcements from the United States, specifically the proposed imposition of a 10% tariff on all Caribbean nations, including the Bahamas. Such a measure, if implemented, could potentially influence both trade flows and visitor arrivals. In this context, the government is committed to pursuing constructive dialogue with our U.S. and CARICOM partners to address the implications of this policy shift in a manner that protects and promotes mutual economic interests.
The Prime Minister reiterated that his government has been proactive in expanding its trade options to lessen any unforeseen or planned policy changes by any of our trading partners.
Well before the election of the current U.S. President, my government had taken proactive steps to strengthen our economic resilience through the adoption of a national trade policy. One of the first for our country that I alluded to earlier. This policy lays the foundation for a trade diversification framework that seeks to broaden our export base and reduce over-independence on any single market. At the core of these efforts is a commitment to ensuring that global trade developments do not unduly disadvantage Bahamian businesses or consumers. The government has also been collaborating with the private sector to explore enhanced trade opportunities with Canada, Dominican Republic, Ghana, and India, while also investigating new shipping channels and logistical solutions.
As an example of this trade diversification, the Prime Minister used the recent dilemma with the high price of eggs coming out of the United States before pivoting to import eggs at a cheaper rate from the Dominican Republic. In his budget communication on Wednesday, Prime Minister Philip Davis announced that the government is set to achieve a balanced budget as well as a budget surplus. Well, Opposition Leader Michael Pintard questions the validity of such. In a statement on Wednesday, he said any discussion about a surplus for the upcoming fiscal year 2025-2026 is nothing but a sad farce and diabolically misleading. He said by the Prime Minister's own projections, the deficit is expected to come in at up to 0.7% of GDP this year, which is well over $100 million. He noted that the midterm budget report ran a deficit of $395 million and had some $122 million in outstanding bills and arrears. Because of this, the opposition not buying any talk of a fiscal surplus next year, when just this past December, the government was facing a fiscal hole of over $500 million, says Mr. Pintard. And finally, in this segment, while it appears that Bahamians who were vexed that another SpaceX Starship test flight was approved by the United States to fly above the Bahamas airspace on Tuesday past was warranted, especially after another flight exploded and debris landed in Bahamian waters in just March of this year. This as the 9th test flight of the Starship launch system, which forms part of SpaceX's ongoing development of next-generation space transportation, exploded over the Indian Ocean on Tuesday. This marks another setback for the Elon Musk plans to one day colonize Mars. The rocket, the largest ever built, launched from Starbase, Texas, a newly incorporated city. According to SpaceX, the planned flight trajectory of the test flight was several 100,000 feet above the Bahamian airspace, and therefore they did not require approval from the Bahamian government. Again, the Bahamas government wants to make it clear that while the Bahamas currently maintains a formal agreement with SpaceX for the return and recovery of Falcon 9 first stage boosters within Bahamian maritime territories, no such agreement currently exists with respects to the Starship test flights. And we'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.